guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to do like a chatty kind of get ready with me. I'm not really going anywhere, I'm just trying on some makeup. I want to create a look that I could do for one of my brides. So basically that's what I'm doing, I'm just playing around with some makeup and just seeing what I come up with. But I thought I would just talk to you about a little bit about me, where I'm from, my background, how I got to where I am now, how I got to YouTube, and all that, I think. I've never actually done this before, I've never actually just sat and talked about myself, with nobody to talk back with. So yeah, this might be a little bit of a real flop video, but fingers crossed, I get through it and you learn a little bit about me. Now the reason I'm doing this is because in one of my previous videos I was talking about what I'd been going through with losing my grandmother and a dear friend of ours, and one of my subscribers said that it was quite nice to know what was going on with me, so you could relate better to me. So I thought, why not just do one of these videos where you get to know me a little bit better. So I'm not really going to go through the products that I'm using. I might slip it in if it comes out, but it's not really going to be the focus of this video. But if you do want to know any of the details of the makeup that I'm using, then leave a comment below. I will try and list everything down below in the description bar, but in case I do forget, then yeah, just leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Okay, so let me just start with my age, I guess. I am 36 years old. I was born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya, that's in East Africa. And I basically lived here till I was 17. And then I went to Cardiff University in the UK, so in Wales, where I studied optometry. So the earlier part of my life I was in Kenya. I was born and raised here. My parents, my whole family really is here. And then when I say is here, I'm actually in Kenya at the moment. But yes, so my family is actually here. And yeah, I went to study, gosh, this was in like 99. I went to the UK. I did my optometry degree, I graduated, did my qualifying year there. And then I kind of just stayed on. I worked and I stayed on and I lived there for 15 years, probably a bit more, before I got married and came back to Kenya. I never actually had any intention of coming back to Kenya, to be honest. For those of you that know what Kenya is like, it's not the safest place to live at, especially for girls and like Indian girls here. I find that the independence that I had when I lived in London, it's just, yeah, I don't have that here basically. I can't really go out on my own at night. If I do go out, it's usually with my husband. If I do meet like the girls, then I have to sort of rely on car rides, or if I drive, I make sure somebody else is with me, or I take a taxi. But yeah, I don't really have the independent lifestyle that I had while I was living in London. Yeah, but my husband's from Kenya, he still lives here, and yeah, I moved here after I got married. I do go back to the UK. I'm probably in the UK half the year and half the year here. I just can't seem to stay away really. And my husband doesn't mind, so it kind of works out well for us. But yeah, I mean, I got into makeup purely by chance. I'm actually an artist, or I was an artist. I don't know if I can still call myself an artist, considering I haven't painted in years. But yeah, I used to love painting, and that was my therapy then. Like if anything was wrong, or if I was upset or bored or absolutely anything, I would paint. And when I was working full-time as an optometrist, I didn't really get the time to paint, and if I wanted to paint, it just took so long that I just didn't really bother because just didn't have the time to finish it, and I hate not finishing a painting, so I just chose not to start painting. But yeah, so there's a day when I really wanted to paint. I don't know what was going on in my life, and I just needed some sort of outlet, and I found an eyeshadow palette lying around. And I really never wore makeup at that point. I didn't know anything about makeup. I was really was a tomboy actually. But yeah, so I found an eyeshadow palette and I just started messing around with it, and I found how easy it was just to do this whole load of makeup and then take it off when I'm done. And it gave me the same sort of release that I needed as painting did. And that's basically how I actually got into makeup. Okay, my battery's flashing, so I'm just going to change my battery pack and we'll be right back. So the more I played with makeup, I found that I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it so much that I thought about doing it as a profession. And so I decided to do a couple of like mini courses just to get myself into the field and to see if that's really what I wanted to do, because bearing in mind I was still working full-time as an optometrist. And after doing a couple of like courses, small courses, I realised that's what I really wanted to do. So I decided to do like a bridal course, hair and makeup both, but a bridal course at the Academy of Freelance Makeup in London. And then, yeah, so that's what I did then. And then I can't even remember when that was now. I didn't really do it professionally in London at all. I don't know why. I guess I just never really found the time to go do trials and meet clients or anything like that, 'cause I was working full time. And it's just not possible with a 9 to 5, or my hours, not really 9 to 5, they were quite weird, but those many hours in the day to then fit in clients. And I used to work every Saturday, which is, you know, when most weddings take place. And then I met my husband, and I knew that I was going to be moving to Kenya. So I decided to actually take that as an opportunity I was going to quit my job anyway to move to Kenya, so I decided to take that opportunity and maybe do makeup here as a profession, which is what I did. And then MAC opened up in Kenya, and I went for the interview. I actually got the job, but the Kenyan pay for a MAC makeup artist was so bad. It wasn't worth it at all. And I know some would say that, you know, to work for MAC is everything, but like it was dog work for absolute shite pay. It was so bad. So I decided not to take on the job. But I was so happy with my interview because we had international artists from South Africa come and interview us for the jobs here. And one of the artists, I think who was the lead artist, hinted to me to apply for the artist trainer job for the sub-Saharan region, because they were so happy with the way my interview went. They had nothing to fault me on, and you know, they basically said you're an accomplished artist, and yeah, you'd be working under one of the other artists if I did apply for the job as a trainer. But I was newly married, and it meant being out of the country more than being in the country, which didn't quite work well as a newly married. My husband would never have said no, but you know, there was no way I was going to start my new married life being out of the country more than in the country. So yeah, I didn't take that up, but it was so nice to know that they really liked what I did, and that I'd come such a long way from, you know, being an optometrist to being an accomplished makeup artist, as declared by a MAC makeup artist. Yeah, so yeah, that was one of the best moments of my life actually, with respect to makeup. But yeah, so I travel back and forth to the UK quite frequently. My sister's still there, and I'm so close to her that actually getting married and leaving her was one of the hardest things I had to do. She has, when I got married, her daughter was, I think, only 2, and she was so close to me, I was so close to her. She was like my kid. So leaving her was so difficult, so difficult. But, you know, life happens. You gotta do what you gotta do. So, gosh, I look so pale in the camera. But I definitely don't look that pale in real life. So one thing I absolutely love in life generally is sports. I used to be in all the school teams when I was in school, so hockey, rounders, even football, netball, swimming, literally everything. And then when I went to uni, I played badminton, and I used to play football. We used to play mixed football with the pharmacy school. Yeah, so I absolutely love sports. I still play badminton now and then. Swim very occasionally, not so much anymore. I'm so self-conscious now that, yeah, to get me in a swimming costume is just near impossible. Especially after having my son, and I have a 1.5-year-old now. Yeah, time flies. I can't believe he's like 1.5 years. It's an absolute joy though. Absolutely. Having a kid just changes everything in life. I'm so all over the place with what I'm telling you guys, and please forgive me. This is so difficult. Yeah, this is so difficult to do, but I'm trying. Oh, by the way, I'm using Luminoso blush by Milani. I know this is a really old school blush, but it is amazing. Absolutely love this blush. It's one that I can wear with anything, like any makeup that I've done, I can wear this blush. And it's really nice and buildable. And it's got a lovely sheen to it as well. So there was something that happened recently. I met someone who was getting bullied in school, and they're only like 13 years old, 14 years old, and she got text messages from this guy in school, like horrible messages, effing blindly at her, calling her, you know, telling her to, like, I don't really want to say these things because I don't really know who's watching my channel, if there are any kids watching my channel, any younger people, but like really nasty stuff. And I just can't believe like how bad bullying is these days. I mean, I'll be honest, I've never really told anyone this. Not many people know this about me, but I used to get bullied a lot when I was little. When I was in school, I hated school. Up until my A-levels, where I finally met like some really lovely people, and they're my best friends till today. I hated school. I used to get so badly bullied. It was awful. And now it just seems like so much worse. Like the stuff that this guy wrote, I just don't understand. I don't understand the whole, like, how can anybody do that? How can anyone think it's okay to make somebody feel so crap about themselves? To make someone feel this big? Like, does it make them feel bigger? Does it make them feel better about themselves to rip somebody else apart? I just don't know. I don't know how people think it's okay and how they find it in them to do it. I mean, I was a really tough kid. Like, I never let it get to me. I don't really talk to anybody about it. I didn't even talk to my parents about it. Nobody knew. But I'm a strong person, like emotionally and mentally I'm a really strong person, and I won't let people get to me. You know, you can talk badly about me, you can say whatever you want to me, but if you don't mean anything to me, what you say won't mean anything to me. I mean, I don't mean it in a bad way, it's just I've had to be really tough just to not let people get to me and just to get through life. But not everyone's like that, and this kid just didn't know what to say, didn't know how to address this, was feeling so bad about herself that, I don't know, it just, yeah, it's just such a shame, and I just wish that there was some way to get through to these people to just stop stop what they're doing, basically, you know, just stop it. It's a horrible thing that you're doing, and you don't know how far somebody would take it just to stop feeling bad. You know, you don't know how far is far enough when you're pushing somebody. Like, why would you want to be that person? Why would you want to be that person that actually puts somebody over the edge? I just don't get it. Don't get it, I never will. I understand the whole thing about, you know, popularity, and there's some kids who are never going to be popular and all of that. I get it. I get that's how life works. I get that's how school works, but you don't have to be nasty about it, you know? But yeah. Yeah, I didn't mean to have a serious conversation today, but yeah, I just wanted to address that. It is really heartbreaking when I see stuff like that happening and I hear about it. I used to work with a woman, my manager, who really was the nastiest person I've ever met. She used to try and pit her staff against each other, just so that nobody would trust anyone else but her. And she would cheat customers out of their money. She would lie to anybody and everybody. She was a pathological liar, actually. And she really bullied me at work. And it got to the point where I'd had enough. Like, I'd actually had enough, and I wanted to file a grievance against her. And you know, to file a grievance is not a joke. Like, it can go as far as understanding that once you file a grievance, there's a very good chance that you will quit work because it gets so bad. Because the person that you filed a grievance against, there may not be anything done. So yeah, but I was so fed up. I was so fed up, and for me to take that action, like, I hate confrontations. I don't like rocking the boat. I'd rather just get on with things. And you know, I'm one of these people that if somebody's fighting with me and I just don't see the point, like, I don't see the point of their argument, I won't go and say, well, no, I think you're wrong, and tell them what I think. I just don't care. Like, I'll let them talk and then I'll walk away. It's just easier that way for me. But with this woman, I'd literally had enough, and so I contacted HR and I was like, look, this is what's happening. Either like move me to a different store, or I need to hand in my resignation because I've literally had it with this woman. The lady at HR was like, do you know how many complaints we've had about her? Why don't you file a grievance? Like, you seem like you're quite happy to leave if it comes to that. So rather than letting her bully anybody else, why don't you file a grievance? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, for the first time I actually will do something about it, because she was terrorizing all the other staff, and yeah, it was just not cool what she was doing. So the HR contacted my regional manager and basically told him what was happening and that I was looking to file a grievance, and he came in to see me the next day. and it was so funny. So he was like, what's going on? And I'm like, I told him, I was like, I told you this woman is a nightmare to work with. I was like, she's a pathological liar, and the year that I've worked with her has made me such a bitch. And this is my regional manager I'm talking to, but I was so fed up. And the funny thing was, he was like, you know what, you've always been way too nice, so this is not a bad thing. But he believed what I said, and you know, I was like, she's lying to customers, she's practically stealing from them. Fine, she's putting it in our tills, but that's just to boost her sales, but like she's not doing anything ethical, really. And I had notes and I had records of all the patients that she had swindled out of their cash, really, and he followed it up, and in the end he made her leave, which really was the best thing ever. But I think that's the first time I've ever fought back and done something about being bullied. And after standing up that one time, since then, I have never let anybody walk all over me. I've never let anybody bully me. If I don't like what people have to say, and if they're just being plain nasty or rude, I will tell them to their face. I'm not rude. I never shout. I can't say never, I do shout, but it's very, very rare for me to get really angry and make a scene and shout or do anything like that. I'm generally a really calm person. But if somebody crosses the line now with me, I do tell them, and I will make sure they understand what I'm saying. But I know so many people who can't speak up and will find it really difficult to stand up for themselves. And I feel really sorry for them. I feel really bad for them. You know, there's some people, like my husband's one of them. He's always been able to stand up for himself. He's never let anybody walk all over him. He's one of these guys that will not take crap from anybody, and he won't let anyone give his friends any crap. Like, he's one of these guys who will have your back, and he's not scared to fight anybody if they're in the wrong. But not everyone's like that, and for people who can stand up, it seems like such an easy thing to do. You know, like, I mean, it's so obvious. Like, why would you let somebody affect you? Why would you let somebody hurt you? You should stand up and say something. But it's not easy for everyone. It's not something that just comes as second nature. And yeah, like, I know my husband's one of those guys that says, you know, you have to stand up for yourself. Like, you can't let people walk all over you. It's crazy if you do. And he just doesn't understand, like, how you can't, because to him it's always been easy. He's always been able to do it. Yeah. I've gone off on a tangent, haven't I? I don't really know how I got onto this topic. I struggle now to film videos. Like, I find it so difficult with my son. I don't know how the Pixie Woo sisters film so regularly. They've got kids. I just don't know how they do it. There's so much stuff to be done. Like, to find the time to film is like next to impossible. I tend to film like late at night till about 12, 1 in the morning, just so I can get things done. Because with my son, there is no way. He's still not in nursery. I decided to wait, or rather we decided to wait. We said that we'll send him to school, nursery, when he's a bit older, when he's 2. When he's old enough to tell us if he's being bullied or if everything is okay. So when I started my YouTube channel, and even now, I do YouTube because I love doing makeup and I love to teach. I used to do classes here in Kenya, makeup classes, because I used to get asked so many times how to do this, how to do that, how to use the makeup. how to use people's own makeup. So I just decided to do classes, and they were really successful, but then I had to stop because my mother-in-law fell really ill when I went with her for her treatment. She had to get treated, she had to go to India. So I went with her to get treated, and I had to cancel my classes and stuff. But while I was doing them, they were really good. I had a really great time doing it, and I got really good feedback, really positive feedback. And so actually that's why I started YouTube, because I thought I could do the same thing on a larger scale. And also I could just have fun with makeup. And if there's somebody else out there who likes what I do and who likes my style of makeup, would then be able to enjoy this as well, because I love watching makeup artists on YouTube. Some of my favourites are the Pixie Rouge sisters, Tati, I like... Sorry, my camera stopped recording, but yeah, so I was saying some of my favourite YouTubers are, yeah, Shalina's one of them. She's very, I love the way she's so honest, and she just says it as it is. I love her attitude, and yeah, I absolutely love the way she films. And her style of makeup is not my style of makeup, but I like what she does. I like the way she creates her own makeup looks, and I just enjoy watching her channel. So I wanted to ask, what do you like watching on my channel? Do you like tutorials? Do you like reviews? Please comment down below so I know what sort of content to film. I love doing tutorials. Like, I will always do one or two here and there, even if they're not the most popular, just because it's something I do enjoy doing. And yeah, but I want to know what you guys like to watch, so I can actually film that as well. Someone once asked me what kind of books I like to read. And I've actually got a really varied selection. So I love Harry Potter. I've read each book at least 4 or 5 times. I absolutely love Harry Potter. I've watched all the films. But then I also like stuff like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma, Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. They're all more spiritual. Many Lives, Many Masters is about hypnotherapy, really, past life regression, and I just find it so interesting. It's so, yeah, it's dwelling into the unknown for me anyway, and yeah, I really do enjoy books like that. Then I like I like romance novels. I don't really read autobiographies, I must say. I can't seem to keep my attention on the book. I get bored quite easily with autobiographies, but one day I will, I'm sure, read something. But I like stuff like Freakonomics, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Secret, which I think is a really good book. I've been thinking about doing a video on my weight journey. It's not something that's really easy for me to talk about, but there was I don't know whose channel it was, and I'm really annoyed that I don't know, I can't remember her name, but I was watching her channel, I don't know how long ago actually, if it was a year ago or months ago, I can't remember. And it helped me through a little time in my life when I was really, really down about my weight and my body image, really. And I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested to see, to watch, or to hear about my journey. I've always been big. I've never been the thin girl. Even when I had no fat, I was still big boned, so I was still bigger than the other girls. But, you know, I've had a whole journey of being extremely overweight to losing 30 kilos, which is what, about 60 pounds, a bit more, I don't know, give or take, and then putting it back on, and yeah, it's been it's been a roller coaster journey, to be honest. But it's not something that, again, it's not something I've ever talked about, I've ever discussed with anybody. My mum kind of knows some of my lows, as does my sister, but not really everything. And I don't know, it's just not something that I've ever been able to talk about. It's one of those things in my life that I think does get me down when somebody comments or makes a harsh remark about. And so yeah, I don't really talk about it. It's one of those things where you don't just give people opportunities to hurt you. But I know how much of a difference this woman made to my life. Just watching her channel, I stumbled upon it. And yeah, I don't know if there's anybody out there who wants to know my journey, if they're looking for, I don't know, a familiar story, or just to know how I got through it, how I'm still getting through it. Yeah, let me know. So my makeup's done. Yeah, I'm really sorry this video was just all over the place in terms of what I was talking about. But yeah, it's difficult. But if you want to see more of these kind of videos, then let me know and I will try and film them. But yeah, like, I hope you got to know me a little bit better, the kind of person that I am, I guess, my personality. Hope it came through in this video. But if you have any questions for me, if you want to know a bit more about me, then just ask in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and taking the time to listen to me. But I will see you all next time. Bye.